Well, Ali Newland is a mass communication student at LSU. How about that for an introduction?
Thank you. They like to call me the manship legend.
The manship legend.
Some of my friends that I graduated with.
I guess when you've been in college 4 years, you start to feel a little older. Although to the rest of the world, you're still a kid, I guess. But you've had a good time here?
I have. I've really enjoyed it.
Yeah. So right now, you're just swinging a hot bat, and I've got the stats and numbers to back that up. But just talk to me about this team start and the way you guys are playing right now. Going to Kentucky, a team that has been a bugaboo for LSU in the past, and taking all 3 games.
Yeah, it was a huge start for us. I think that it really reaffirmed some of the things that we already knew, that this team was really good and really experienced and has a ton of ways to win. I have definitely been a part of the Kentucky thorn on our side. They're a great team and they're very well coached. So going there, we always know it's going to be a great series. We always know that we're going to have to bring our best. So I was really proud of the way that this team found a ton of ways to win. We did put up a lot of runs. The pitchers did well. We played great defense, and just shows that this team really can do it all on both sides of the ball.
So in 2022, sorry to relive a bad memory real quick, but they came here and took all 3 games.
Yes.
And I think they scored 18 runs and gave up 12. In this case, you scored 18, gave up 8, and the clutch hitting on your part. So the first game, you beat Kentucky 6-2. You go 2 for 5 with an RBI. And then in game 2, you go 2 for 4 with 2 RBIs. In the top of the 7th, 2 outs, an RBI single to score Sierra Daniel. So talk to me about that at bat and that game-winning hit.
It was an awesome feeling. Anytime that you can come through for your team in a moment like that is great. And the pitcher they had on the mound, Jaden Vickers, I think her first name is Jaden, but she was just incredible. A great pitcher. She had a great plan for us and threw really well to us. So I had to come up and have made an adjustment in my last at bat. So coming up there, it was so cool. I got to turn around to Taylor Pleasance behind me on deck, and she was like, "These are the moments we live for, right?" So just to have a person like that who is supposed to be the hero and supposed to be the superstar, and her being totally fine with it not being her. She just wants us to be successful. So to have that moment with her and be like, this is it, right? This is why we do this, was really awesome. And it was awesome to have her behind me. Ali, this is just another at bat. And then to get it done and see her smiling on deck was incredible.
Watching the game, so Taylor makes this play on Sunday in which you guys are kind of in a jam there with only 1 out. They've got base runners, and she gobbles up the ground ball. She runs to second base, steps on the bag, I guess turns a 180 along the way, and fires to first to get the double play to get you guys out of the jam. Pretty amazing stuff.
I like to call it the spin move 360, a patented Taylor Pleasance move. But yes, she is unreal athlete, and some of the things that she has done, that's kind of routine for us. We were it was a great play in the moment because of what the situation was, but honestly, the play was I've seen her do that a million times. Taylor, you could have done better, honestly. I don't know. But to be used to things like that with a shortstop like her is a pitcher's dream, an outfielder's dream. One of my favorite things to do when I'm watching the Taylor Pleasance highlights at shortstop is to look for me in the outfield. So just check me out right behind there, because you'll see me jumping and screaming and celebrating for her. I love getting to be on the left side of the field with her. She makes playing softball so easy.
Covering different teams and different sports over the years, that's what we hear. They'll make a play in a game in front of thousands of people and millions watching. The players say, well, we see it in practice all the time.
Absolutely.
We've seen it many times before. And then people who may glance at the Sunday score and see that you won the game 8-3 may not understand that it was a tight game in the top of the 6th. You're tied 2-2. I mean, we're getting into the final innings of the game. And once again, this young lady steps to the plate with 1 out and smokes an RBI double to score Sierra Daniel. You seem to like to score Sierra Daniel for whatever reason.
Oh, yeah, we do, for sure.
Bringing her home. So once again, out of the 3 games, these were at least 2 that you delivered the game-winning base knock. Do you approach it any differently, that hey, this could be the one that wins the game, or is each at-bat, you approach them all the same?
Well, before I answer that, I'll just speak to Sierra Daniel. She has been unreal in the last however many games that she's played in. She's batting like 1,000. It feels like she's just on base all the time. So a credit to her for like giving me the opportunity to even have the, game-winning RBI or game-winning hit or whatever it is, because she is always on base, giving us a chance to do things like that. So huge credit to her. But I think that what I always tell the younger kids when they like ask me, Ali, do you get nervous? Do you worry when you're up there? And if you've done what you're supposed to do during the week, like you don't have to be nervous. Like you've earned the right to not be nervous. So you get to approach that. You get to approach that at bat or that play or that ball or whatever it is. Like it's just another at bat or just another ball. So credit to our staff and this team who helps me be incredibly prepared to show up in that moment and just do what I always do.
Well, and I was looking at your numbers last year. Your batting average was higher in SEC games than maybe the non-conference, which typically would be flipped, right? I mean, no offense to any of the opponents you play, but the SEC games are typically tougher. Mm-hmm. And so you kind of rise to the occasion. You were all SEC last year, batting .413 in the conference.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure I went 0 for February last year, so I try to forget about that one. But absolutely, what a great conference to play in, that your games are tougher in the conference schedule all the time. So I think you have no choice but to rise to the occasion. But what we always say is you have to sync to your training, and that's what practice prepares us for. Our pitching staff is unbelievable, and when I get to conference play, I've seen the best of the best.
Yeah.
So you don't have to think, oh gosh, I've never seen this drop ball before, because let me tell you, when Sid Berzon got here, that was a drop ball I had never seen before. So now it just feels like we get to just play, because we are so well prepared and so well seasoned in competition because of how good all 26 people on this roster is.
In the series, Ali Newland goes 6 for 14. That's a .428 average for 4 RBI. So spectacular as LSU sweeps Kentucky. Your average for the year, .391. You have 4 home runs. You're tied for the team lead with Raylene Gutierrez and Taylor Pleasance. And you have 25 hits, which leads the team. Gutierrez is right on your tail with 24. 6 doubles, which is tied for Mackenzie Rudity for the team lead, and you have 24 RBI, second to Pleasance. So off to a great start.
Yes, anytime you get to be in a conversation with Taylor Pleasance and Mackenzie Rudity and Raylene Gutierrez with the way that those guys are swinging right now, you know you're doing something right. So I'm just kind of trying to keep up with them and keep pace with them. I guess it's flipped a little bit since Danica has been hurt, and some different people have had to like step up and do some different things, but I'd be hard pressed to find like a 2, 3, 4, 5 who's swinging the way we're swinging right now. And I've been so proud of the way that, like I said, since Danica has been hurt, the way that they have stepped up and not missed a beat, the way that those freshmen have stepped up and not missed a beat has been amazing to watch, and credit to their work while they waited, because they were ready for their moment, and that's something that's really hard to do. When you're really young and you're playing on a team that is this seasoned and this veteran, I suppose you could say, but they were ready for their moment, and this offense is dangerous. I've been really proud of them.
I was going to say, Maddox McGee, she stepped in the first game of the series and played a pivotal role in you winning at Kentucky. Mm-hmm.
Her first SEC game, she had 2 hits, and that's pretty incredible. So we've been saying since before she even got here that kid was going to be good, that Sierra Daniel was going to be good. Everybody knew it. So for them to get here and just show up like they were supposed to show up and not let the moment get too big or let anything be too small to slip through the cracks at practice, they were ready when their number was called, and how awesome to be in the position that they're in right now.
And back to Pleasance, I've told people this before, I think she's listed at 6 feet, but when you look at her from a distance, she seems even bigger than that. Her physical presence is pretty strong.
It's probably because I'm standing behind her, and I'm only like 5'4". So it makes her seem even bigger, so I'll take some credit for that. But yes, she has obviously an incredible physical presence. She's a freak of nature athlete. But the other thing that makes her seem like that is just her composure in the field. Coach will call her the field general sometimes, and I think that that's so true. Last year, obviously you saw me behind the plate a lot, and now being in the outfield, we're tasked with listening a lot. Like those 2 positions have to listen to the rest of the field because we can't always see it. So I tell people all the time, hers is the only voice I'm listening for, because I trust that she's going to make the right decision every time. And if she doesn't, like, I'm riding with her. So I think I take a lot of pride in knowing the game really well. It's one of the things that makes me good at it. And so for me to say that about her really means something, that I really trust her decisions, but it makes her seem even more larger than life because she really is the one that we're listening for and the one that we trust to make the right decisions.
You added Bryce Neal to the coaching staff this year, and as I said, just now, you scored 18 runs in this 3-game series against Kentucky. I have covered series against Kentucky before you got here, in which LSU might have scored 3 runs in 3 games. They, like we talked about, not to beat a dead horse, but their pitching has really been tough against LSU hitting over the years. And so tell me about Bryce's addition and what it has meant to the offense.
Yeah, he's been an awesome addition to us. I think that we're all so proud of Linz and the impact that she's making somewhere else and the way that she built these hitters. All of us are really old.
Lindsay Leftwich,
yes,
who'd been a coach here for a long time.
Yes, so I think a ton of credit to her because we are so old and we spent 3 years with her and she helped build this offense to what it is, and they are very similar just in their approach to loving us really well, to spending time with us and getting to know us and coaching us all individually. Bryce does an incredible job of that. He doesn't coach me the same way that he would coach Taylor Pleasance or Maddie McKee or any of those guys. So he's done a great job of committing to learning us as players and hitters, and it's obviously paid off in huge ways. He and Coach Dobson work together so well. They're, I like to call them the good old boys. They're just john around all the time. But
pickup truck?
Yes, they crack me up, and they work together so well. So many dad jokes are flying around the field these days. You wouldn't even believe. But we have loved having him here. He's had several different approaches that we've never seen before, and I think have certainly made us better and have forced us to think in a different way. I think forced even the staff to think in a different way, just for us to cover everything. And he does a really good job of, like I said, coaching us well, but also he just does the work. He has a ton of different ways to maybe accomplish things that we had already accomplished, but angles we hadn't looked at them from. He goes home and I come back to the field the next day, he's watched all my at-bats from the night before. He's like, oh, that pitch you swung at was blah, 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 blah. So a credit to him doing the work and to committing to learning how we operate in this place and fitting right in.
How much of hitting is guessing? So, down the street at Alec Box and here, there is literally a split second in your mind to say, oh, this is a drop ball, or this is out of the zone and high, or wherever the ball is to swing at it. Or you're thinking in your head, maybe she's about to throw me X, so I'm going to swing at X.
Yeah.
Guessing is a bad word, but I think you know what I'm saying.
Yes, I think that the best hitters are definitely informed hitters. So our coaching staff is the most prepared in the country. I really believe that. They have watched more film, they've seen more pitches, they have done all of those things more than anybody else. So we can really trust them when Friday at 6 o'clock rolls around, that they have made an incredible plan for us, and it's the best one for us to start with, right? Obviously, you always have to make adjustments because the other people are making great plans too. But we really trust them when the weekend rolls around to put the plans that we have set into action during the week into action during the game. So some of it is guessing for sure. Those guys are really good. The pitchers in this conference are really good. So when you're up there, you have to try and be the best version of yourself and trust that it's good enough to beat whoever's on the mound. Because the more that you worry and wonder and stress about what they're going to do, the less that you get to be confident in what you do. So I think that we do a really good job of that. We try to trust us more than we believe them. And it's worked out for us so far. I think that obviously we make adjustments pitcher to pitcher, but you have to believe in you in the box because otherwise all your plans really don't matter.
Very well said. As you can tell, she is a mass communications major. When they start pushing me out the door, she'll be the new sports director at WAFB. I got the feeling right now. She's ready to take over. And technology makes the game easier and it makes it harder, right?
Yes.
Because they are, like you said, they are breaking you down left and right as opposed to the old days where, film projector and all that stuff, or maybe coaches exchange video. I guess somebody in the stands could shoot a video that you could get a hold of that might help. There's just everyone's got a video on their phone and whatnot.
Yeah, if anybody has taken a video of any of the pitchers that we're going to face, I'll take it. If you got front film, let us know. But I think it makes it easier and harder. And everyone is different in that regard. I remember the last few years that I was here when Georgia Clark was here, she wanted all of it. She wanted all the information, she wanted all the video, and she wanted all of those things. And some people are that way. Taylor Pleasance likes a lot of information. But I think that on the flip side of that, there are people like me and like Carly Petty who maybe some of that just overwhelms us. So I want to know everything that you have for me to know until Thursday at 5 o'clock. And then I want to just be the best hitter that I can be. Because after that, your swing isn't getting better and the pitcher's not getting better. It's just, it's you versus them. It's 9 hitters versus 1 pitcher. So, I think it makes it easier and harder, but I think it makes it easier and harder player to player and based on what you like. So it's a hard balance, and I think you can get lost in it, but you've got to figure out what works for you and how you can use it to the best of your advantage.
And whatever the video is, there's a good chance that D'Angelo Sanchez is going to be in it.
Yes.
I tell you what, I'm watching the game yesterday, and you're in Lexington, Kentucky. I got a feeling if you be like in Moscow, Russia,
he's coming.
He'll make it.
He's coming.
With the belt,
yes.
And everything. I still remember when LSU played Clemson in the national championship game in football. I woke up very early that day. I looked out my window in New Orleans, and there he was walking on the street. He was already fully dressed. He had the weight belt over his shoulder. Kickoff might have been 13 hours away or whatever, but he was ready to go.
He was ready.
So tell me about your the pitching too. So Sydney, I know that they are very high on her, and for good reason. Mm-hmm. But there's been some great pitchers over the years. I mean, I covered Allie Wall-Jasper and Carly Hoover and these kind of pitchers that made the difference between, a super regional and going to Oklahoma City and doing some damage. So she's the next in line here.
Absolutely. She is an unbelievable talent. And I think if you told her that you had interviewed Carly Hoover, she would probably freak out and be starstruck. That's her girl. She rides for Carly Hoover. I think she could tell you her freshman year stats last year. She could rattle them off on the page because that was who she wanted to be. And she has every opportunity to be that and more. I remember the first real thing that I said to her the fall of her freshman year was, if you don't set a ceiling for yourself, there won't be one. She is that good. She has that much of the mental toughness, the smarts, sometimes you got to be, they talk about how the best hitters are dumb hitters. And sometimes I think that's true for pitching too. Sometimes she's just got to get out of her own way and just throw because her stuff is that good. And, but yeah, she's unbelievable. She is obviously the ace of this staff. She leads them so well, and she leads our defense so well. And sometimes that's not what you would think. You would think it's the shortstop or the catcher or whoever it is. But when she's on the mound, she turns around after every pitch and God knows what's going to come out of her mouth. You never know. But she's just so calm and collected and believes in herself so much that she gives you no choice but to do it for yourself too. So yes, absolutely unbelievable pitcher. I could say the same for the rest of this staff. They have been incredible as the year has started. The opening weekend, we threw 5 shutouts from 5 different pitchers. I bet you can't find another staff in the country who did that. Yeah. And huge credit to Coach Beth, obviously, for working with them and putting them in a position to be successful. But they are an unbelievable group, and I'm so excited to watch them play this year. They make it so easy to play behind them, so easy. You want to run through a wall for Raylan Chafin because you know that she would eat it with her teeth for you if she needed to. She's a dog out there and definitely brings some fire to the staff that maybe the rest of them don't have. Lots of jumping and stomping around from her, but because she wants it so much. There's nobody who celebrates me like her, who commits to celebrating us like she does. The same, Kelly Lynch is probably the opposite, right? Cool, calm, collected. She's thrown 1 billion pitches in her college career. Fun fact about Kelly Lynch, she and I played travel ball together back in the day. We won a national championship together, so we're really trying to run that back this year, of course, but she's been such a great addition to that staff and to the bullpen, brings some calmness to them and some trust in their abilities to them. We've loved having her around. She brings great vibes, lots of jokes. She's really pushing Coach to let her play shortstop this year, but after the incident in Clearwater, I'm just not sure it's going to happen. So we'll see. We'll see down the road. But yes, she's been a great addition. Emily Casanova and Emma Strood, bringing up the rest of those guys, they've worked so hard to be in a position to put in innings this year and to help Sid and Ray out, right? Like, Sid is only good because of what the rest of the pitching staff can do. And so those guys have worked so hard to be put in that place, and to throw a shutout on opening weekend was unbelievable. I'm just so proud of them and the way that they've given us a chance at all these games. We're not 22-0 without the staff being what they are.
It is much more specialized than it was 20 years ago. I covered Brittany Sneed here. That was my first year at Channel 9, and Brittany would just throw till her arm was going to fall off. It's just like, there was one pitcher. Just ride this one pitcher. Now, you're making changes, and unlike baseball, you can bring the person back in after you take them out.
Yes.
That makes it interesting.
It does. They, all of them are that way. I think they would throw till their arm fell off for us. They love this place so much and love us so much that I think you could ask Emily Casanova to go out there and throw it left-handed, and she would just do it. Because that's what this place means to her, and that's what this team means to her. And the same for the rest of the pitching staff. So obviously you can bring them back in on your best weekend. You hope you don't have to do that. But anytime that you still have all those horses in the stable, we feel really good about our chances.
A few more things with Ali Newland, and you. I searched your name on YouTube, and I came across not only the batting but the catches. You have made some, Aaliyah Andrews type catches out there where you've sacrificed your body, and I think you said you did it in Kentucky, and you got your whole uniform wet because there was, that's a perfect remedy to get sick, right? You seem fine, thank goodness. But
it was a tough one. It was a tough one.
Tell me about the way you played the outfield.
I think the way we play the outfield at LSU is so much of what came before us. I think all the time about COVID and how terrible it all was and how much stuff I missed, but how thankful I am that I got to play the outfield with Leah Andrews and Taryn Antoine. They are 100% the reason that I am the outfielder that I am today. I would not be on SportsCenter, I would not be doing all of these things if Taryn Antoine had not said, "Ali, go catch everything." I was like, oh, well, duh. But it took somebody being that confident in me that, you have this. You can be that kind of outfielder. So, obviously, COVID was a ton of things for a lot of people, but it was such a blessing for me to get to play with them and to watch the way that they operated, because it made me a better outfielder without a doubt. But I think you have to play the outfield with no fear. You're the last line of defense, and people are always like, oh, the ball can't go by the outfielders. But it also can't hit the ground either. My dad used to always tell me, you don't get on SportsCenter by playing the ball on a hop. And that's totally true, and I think it's the way that they coach us to play it here. They're like, go big, go catch everything, and then if we find out you can't, we won't die for it next time, but no big deal. So the way that they have coached us and made us not hesitant and not timid is definitely a reason why we play the outfield the way that we do, but also the way that the outfield pushes each other. We're the most fun group on the team. Don't tell anybody I said that, but we are. We're the most fun group on the team. But I think that we all just push each other so much and we celebrate each other so much that we want to go make those plays. We don't want to play it safe. And when the ball goes by, if I dive and the ball goes by me, they're every bit as excited as if I caught it, because they want me to continue to do things like that. Maddie Gilio and Maya Townsend are, next time I make a good play, I hope they pan to the dugout, because there's nobody more excited than they are, ever. I can hear them from the bench, screaming my name out there, and it makes you feel like a rock star, because they want you to be good. And I want to catch things for them. So it's a group effort. It's Aaliyah Andrews, it's AJ Andrews from however many years ago, and it's Taryn Antoine from my freshman year here, and it's those guys who are watching me waiting for their turn who make playing the outfield here what it is.
Awesome. Great stuff. Playing softball here is a full-time job.
Yes.
I mean, this is not intramurals, as one of those coaches screamed years back. It's not show up and have fun. So you don't have a ton of time, but I'd like to compliment you on the time. The spare time you've been part of the Go Teal, which is to fight ovarian cancer, which is close to head coach Beth Tarina's heart. Her mother beat it, correct? Mm-hmm. You've been a member of the Fellowship of Christian Athletes. You do the SEC Community Service Team. That's just a few things that you've been involved in, and you've been on academic teams as well as somebody who handles her business in the classroom. So tell me about your impact off the diamond.
I think it's such a privilege to serve this community. One of the things that I like to say about Baton Rouge is the second that you buy into this city, it buys into you. And I think that is from a sports perspective. I think it's from a hospitality perspective. One year, like, we beat somebody and the fans are like screaming their downfall from the stands, and then they're like sending them home with jambalaya on the way out. And I think that is so unique to here. Nowhere else does that happen but here. My dad played baseball at Georgia, so I grew up between the hedges, and I thought I knew what crazy fans were. I really did. I thought I knew. And then I came here, and they are just sold out for LSU. So I think that what an opportunity for me to be sold out for them. They fill the stands every week. They are the people who support us, who buy the tickets, who do all of that. And so to get to give back to them and give back to this place that has become home over the last 4 years, it's more of a get to than like a choice. I get to do that. I get to be there for them. So I think it's really close to my heart. I think like God has certainly called me to serve. I take a lot of pride in it. It brings me a lot of joy to like serve those people and to look like Jesus for them. So I would just say it's a get to rather than like a have to or a choice to. Like, I never had to choose to serve this place because of how it has like sold out and served me for 4 years.
Wow, great stuff. And to our right is Tiger Park, which I hear so many people over the last whatever year say that I enjoy college softball. I enjoy going to the games. You could play a game in an hour, 40 minutes, maybe less than 2 hours. The ball's always been put in play. There aren't as many pitching changes and delays and whatnot. And so your final season here, you got many more home games to play.
Yes.
But eventually you'll get to that last one, and I'm sure it'll be an emotional day for you.
Absolutely. I think it's been emotional for the whole time I've been here. I remember the first time that I saw my name on a jersey, and I just thought it was the most incredible thing I'd ever seen. It's been such a blessing to play for this place. I'm so thankful that like LSU is the place that God had for me. But I'm certainly well aware of how fast it is coming and how fast it has come, the end that is. But I can't wait to play my last game here because it'll just be like a reminder of how much like I gave to this place and how much it meant to me. I hope it doesn't come quickly, but when it does, like, I'll be proud and thankful, like, to have worn LSU across my chest for 4 years.
All right, I got 2 more questions. This is tradition for me. I say we're almost done, then I ask 10 more questions. Tell me about Beth Torina. Tell me about your head coach. Beth has accomplished a lot of things here, a lot of World Series appearances and whatnot. It'd be great to see you guys make it back. That's way down the line. But tell me about her as your head coach.
She is one of a kind, truly. I think that she does such a great job of like caring about us as people. That's always something that you'll hear her talk about is I want them to leave here better women than they walked in. And yes, she wants us to leave here better players, but she really does care so much about creating great people and to push great people out of LSU. So I'm so thankful to her for that. I'm thankful that she like chose a small town kid from Georgia to come to the big city and wear purple and gold. But it's been really cool to play for her and to be pushed by her. I think that's one thing I'll take away from here is she never let me settle for average ever in any area of my life. And I think that the rest of this team would say that to you, that she's going to push you in the classroom. She's going to push you on the softball field. And when you think that you've done enough, she's going to ask you for more because she knows you're capable of it. And not a lot of coaches would do that. They're just going to let you do your thing, and whatever the classroom is the classroom, and like come to softball and do it. But she really cares about us as people and wants us to be the best that we can in every area of our life here.
And if you do happen to have a bad weekend, say in the past or whatever, and we stick these microphones in front of her, she's going to be very measured in what she says.
She does.
But what you just told me lets fans know, hey, look, she's handling it behind closed doors.
Yes, she is not a woman of many words, that's for sure. But she never airs us to the media, and I've always really appreciated that. She's going to handle it here. She's going to tell us to be better here because that's the standard of this place, to be above the line. And when we're not, she's going to let us know. But she's not going to air it to everybody else either. Like, we're her family, and I don't think that we ever really question that.
All right, so finally, Texas is coming here for a midweek game. This is a different kind of midweek game for a couple of reasons. Typically, you're not playing a midweek. Oklahoma, you played last year, who was number one. They're number one as we're sitting here. I don't know what the rankings are going to be, but it's safe to say you'll both be in the top 5. And it's going to be played at 11 o'clock in the morning on a weekday.
Yes.
They're bringing kids in, right? Bringing kids in to fill the stands. This will probably be the loudest game you play in front of it. I've done the women's basketball when they do that and they bring the kids in. I mean, they cheer for everything.
Yes.
They're dribbling the ball. They're cheering, you know.
Yes, for sure.
So it'll be a great atmosphere. But, you know, tell me about the excitement of playing a game of this magnitude. And, okay, it's March, and we got 3-game series in the SEC right after that, and we have a lot of games to play.
We do. I think we're also excited for this game just because, like, another chance to get to show what you're made of, you know, an incredible opportunity to play a very, very talented and young Texas team. They can do a lot of things well on all sides of the ball. They very, very complete team. They're well coached. We're excited for them to roll in here. I think the one thing we have tried to do this year is focus on us. Like, we're not trying to play Texas. We're trying to play the best version of LSU softball that we can play and be confident that that's enough because of the work that we've put in, because of the talented kids that we have on this team. So excited for them to come and thrilled for the opportunity to once again, like, even though it's at 11 o'clock, put like college softball on a national stage. This is a huge game that a lot of people will be watching. And we get to play it in March. Like, hopefully we get to play it again in June. Like, these are 2 teams that are World Series caliber teams who will make a deep run this postseason. So to get to do it in March, to get to put yourself up against the best of the best in March is a huge opportunity for us, and we're trying to be the best version of us that we can be.
And real quick, the reason it's at 11 a.m. is because of Texas. They've got travel. They're playing a Thursday game at BYU, and so everyone is accommodating one another to play the game at 11 a.m. So, you know, if you got to, skip out on work, maybe do it for a few hours, and you can go back. So, anyway, I really enjoyed this conversation. I'm sure the people that watched it see, how charismatic and warm and great personality and great player that you are. We've enjoyed watching you and looking forward to seeing the final stretch run of your career here. Thank you.
Thank you.
Ali Newland, everyone.